Welcome to Part 1 of ED 300, Introduction to Teacher Education. Hi, I am Dr. Thornburg and will be your instructor this semester. Let's first begin by looking at the prerequisites for this course. There are two. The first, you must have completed 32 semester hours, and you must hold a grade point average of 2.75. Now this is an increase in the requirement from last semester of a GPA of 2.5. Make sure to highlight, circle 2.75 with a red pen, do whatever you need to do. Just make sure that you have acknowledged that the new GPA requirement is 2.75. By the time you complete this course, you should be able to do several things. The first being able to explain the Alabama State Department of Education's requirements for receiving a teacher certification. 2, explain the college's conceptual framework and learning outcomes. 3, show documentation of a 20-hour observation practicum in a P-12 school setting and a 10-hour tutoring practicum. And the last, explain the academic policies governing JSU's educator preparation programs. In the next slide, slide 4, we will look at all of the requirements for admission to teacher education, and there are several. First, you must show a minimum of 60 semester hours on your transcript. You must take and pass the ED 300 course. You must take and pass the AECTP, Alabama Educator Certification Testing Program Basic Skills Test. I don't know what I'm going to do if the name for this test continues to get longer. You must have a GPA of 2.75. You must complete an application for admission to the teacher education program. You must complete a statement of understanding, a background check, a formal interview by your program committee, and you must have 3 professional reference letters on file. Now, the request for admission form is located online at the following website on this slide. Make sure once you log into the site, under the heading Requirements for Admission into the Teacher Education Program at JSU is where you're going to locate that admission form or admission packet. In addition, you fifth-year alternative students will have additional requirements. Our fifth-year candidates are candidates who already have an undergraduate degree and are coming back to get a teacher certification. You will need to complete an application on file with the Graduate Studies, have a GRE or MAT score on file with the Graduate Studies, have 2 official copies of transcripts from all colleges and universities attended, show verification of degree, as well as showing verification of being highly qualified. You will need 3 letters of reference. In addition, alternative fifth-year candidates must hold a 2.75 GPA in their most recent undergraduate degree. Moving on to the background check. You must obtain a certified background check within the first 3 weeks of beginning this semester. So you will need to have your background check completed by January 28th. If you do not submit proof of the background check within the 3-week period, you will be administratively dropped from this course. This is very serious business and it needs to be taken care of quickly. You will not be allowed in a school in the state of Alabama without having proof of completing a background check. The state of Alabama uses a company called Cogent. You will need to register online at their website located on this slide. You must register online prior to arrival at the fingerprinting location. On the next slide, you will see 3 locations closest to JSU. There is 1 location in Oxford, 1 in Gadsden, and 1 in Fort Payne. If you have a substitute's license to teach, you should have your background check already on file with the State Department. You will need to double check this. There's a place in Blackboard in our course for you to scan your receipt to show proof of you submitting a background check. but you will also need to turn this in to Mr. Tim Whittemer, coordinator at the Teaching Learning Center, or as we refer to it in Ramona Wood, the TLC. This will need to be presented to Mr. Whittemore at your first tutoring session. The tutoring and observation sessions will be discussed in a later presentation. Moving on, we will look at teacher testing requirements. As part of the admission process, you will need to take and pass the AEC-TP Basic Skills Test. This is exactly what it is. It is a basic skills test. This is a little early to discuss the other exams you see on the slide, but I just wanted to make sure that you note these. These are two exams that you will need to take and pass prior to your student teaching, and we will discuss these in a later presentation. I will do my best to place a link to these exams later in the semester for your reference. If you do not pass these exams prior to your final semester, prior to student teaching, you will not be able to student teach. Looking on at the basic skills test. Again, this is a basic skills test that you will need to register for. You will need to take and pass that exam this semester. A passing score is required on all sections of the basic skills test. There are no exceptions. Going back, let's look. The basic skills test covers 3 areas: math, reading, and writing. Moving on to liability insurance requirements. Liability insurance is something you are going to want to have prior to working with any student. This is your safeguard should anything happen. I will just read this slide for you. Liability insurance is a requirement for all CEPS courses that have a clinical experience component. You are encouraged to obtain liability insurance before you begin the tutoring practicum in this course. So before you begin working with a student or going out to any of the schools, you're going to want to make sure that you have purchased the liability insurance. The first one listed here is PDK. PDK is a fantastic organization that I've been a part of since my undergraduate years at Auburn University. My membership followed me as I worked on my doctorate at the University of Alabama and still as a professor here at JSU. I'm very proud to be a member of PDK, and once you have been admitted to the College of Education, you will have the same opportunity. I say all this to say PDK offers a student educator professional liability plan for only $25 a year. This plan covers $1 million as well as pays all defense costs over and above the limit of the liability. The final slide indicates the grading policy for this semester. You will notice the 5 assignments and their percentages.